Well, as I promised, we would continue in the vein of speaking against alcohol and things like it. And how many of you out there know the famous ball player, Billy Sunday? Now, in the 1880s, he was quite the ball player. In fact, he was one of the fastest men in baseball. First to circle the bases in under 14 seconds, and nearly led the league in stolen bases in 1890, playing on two teams, the Pirates and then the Phillies, 84 stolen bases, and was offered a contract for like $5,000 to stay in baseball, but he walked away from it after his call from the Lord, and wanting to work after hearing and being converted at the Pacific Garden Mission, which is in Chicago, when he was a player. And then he decided to walk away from that for $84 a month. Now, for those of you who don't know, Billy Sunday, before Billy Graham, where was Billy Sunday? He started out with 8 sermons, but he wound up preaching 20,000 sermons between 1889 and, say, 1935. He was the first to build the tabernacles and those big tent meetings. So way before you saw those tent meetings of Billy Graham. And he spoke, he was the leader in getting prohibition in the United States for 14 years, 1919 till it was repealed in 1933. He held 300 revivals, had over 100 million attendees, and perhaps 300,000 souls came to the Lord because he preached 42 times a week. Now you're going to get a rare treat. You're going to get to see Billy Sunday preach, actually. Let's see if I can find that for you. As I have a rare clip from Great Britain. He declares the war on repeal. Here you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the sworn, eternal, uncompromising enemy of the liquor traffic. I ask no quarter and I give none. What means this assault against the 18th Amendment? Oh, it's nothing under heaven but an attempt to bind and rivet the old breweries and the old distilleries around the neck of the American people for their own profit. But where will the money come from? They say that Uncle Sam will pay, they'll pay Uncle Sam $1,500 million in revenue. Well, where will it come from? Come from the pocket of the poor devil that drinks and stuff in the world. They say we need their saloons in order to bring back prosperity. Well, what does Germany need, and France and England to bring prosperity? Why don't they pay us what they owe us? They say, well, prohibition has brought on the depression. Well, what's brought on the world? The depression is worldwide. The saloons are dead as an Egyptian mummy. She's too dead to skin. But her ghost hangs like a moral paralysis over our land, but no man, woman, or child alive today will ever live to see the stars and stripes wave over an open licensed saloon in the United States of America. I'll fight the saloon from Hawaii to Hoboken. I'll kick it as long as I have a foot. I'll punch it as long as I have a fist. I'll butt it as long as I have a head. I'll bite it as long as I have a tooth. And when I'm old and fistless and footless and toothless, I'll gull it till I go home to heaven and it goes home, my friend, to hell.
Billy Sunday was 70 years old when he gave that little speech. He was quite a fiery individual. Now, stick with me. We have one more where he talks a little sermon, about a minute and a half, about not rum, but righteousness. Hear this one out.
I don't give a hoot for the regulations of the sale of liquor. If we must have booze, well, let's sell it in the saloon where it belongs. That's where it belongs. Government regulation of booze has always been worse than what was in the sale of private hands. For what was in the sale of private hands, they kept in the saloon where it belongs. What difference does it make whether a man guzzles beer standing at the bar or whether sitting down at a table? Booze sold to a preacher or a high school girl has the same effect as when it's sold to an automobile thief or a horse thief. Congress has passed a law putting $2 a tax on whiskey, and they expect to realize $300 million. That means that the American people have got to buy and drink 150 million gallons a year. They have put $5 a barrel tax on beer. That means the people have got to buy and drink 32 million barrels of beer a year. It doesn't take a lawyer to figure out that if you do that, you take that much money out of the legitimate channels of trade. You spend that much less for food and clothes and boots and shoes and education and automobiles. Oh, America didn't need repeal. She needed repentance. She didn't need rum. She needed righteousness. We don't need Jags. We need Jesus. We don't need more Brock. We need more of God.
Amen. That is right on. He spoke against alcohol and he said, whiskey and beer are in their place, and that place is hell. If you don't know much about Billy Sunday, you can go to Moody Radio and hear stories of great Christians. There's about 25 episodes that talk about his career, where he did crusades in New York and Chicago and Philadelphia and Tampa, well before any other evangelist of this century or the past century did. So, there's the word that we promised you against alcohol today. Don't drink. Many Christians think that it's okay, I can just have one, a social one. He says, when we make sin casual, sin will make our testimony casual and ineffective.